So most of the time, people are in the story. Huh? Wat? Heb ik gedaan? I'm so not good in remembering things. So my husband is trying to help me there. Remember, it's a strange thing, remembering. It's so quick gone. So I have a lot of things going on, like my telephone is ringing when I have an appointment and things like that. Okay. When there's a me, when there's really there's very obvious, feels like I'm someone. There's always a story. And there's always a story in where it is, there's a way to do things. There's the thinking about what to do, what not to do. There's good and bad, and there can be time. There's also, and that's part of the story, it seems to be very normal that there's consequences. There's a before and after. When there's somebody saying something, or there's an event or something happening, then after that there can be that you feel like, oh, it was an awful way of talking to me. I'm feeling very hurt, or I'm not feeling well now because of that what happened before. And a lot of times then there's a thinking of, oh, how can I do that better next time, of how can I take care of that doesn't happen anymore, or maybe that it's good to think about to say yes to everything, or only to say things to what I really like. I say yes to that. And there's always trying to look for a way that gives your life a better feeling, or that's a better life, or it's working better. And how can I do it with money? There are other people. It's seen also that that's other people, and we have relationships with them. There is a world, and there's something happening in the world, and that can be very, that it's not good what's going on there. And I'm having a lot of sorrows about that, or maybe in a little world that seems to be, there are children and there is everything to worry about. When this message is talking about, there is no one. For me, it's very strange, but because when I was hearing this message for the first time, I thought, Rose, there can be a moment that Rose will not have a me anymore. So I was always hearing everything was around it, that there is no me anymore. So I was looking for that no me. What is that like? What is that like? Maybe there's somebody talking about it and saying how he's living, or she's living now. So I can hear that and maybe do the same. So maybe then I feel there's no me anymore. Because when there's a me, there's always somewhere, and some people have that more than other people, it's somewhere it's sort of missing something. There's something not complete or not right, or there's something, I'm not good enough, something like that, or maybe somebody else, the world is not good enough. And there's always something about that. That's so embodied, that's so normal, that's not even questions. It's like everybody has that. That's the normal way of being there. And how can we make that right? That's the search. That's also the longing for something, for maybe no problems, or for peace, or for happiness. Everybody has different ways of looking for it. And then there's this message about there's no me. And the funny thing is, and it's the awful thing also, is that the me has certain ways to try to find what seems to be a solution for your problems, or seems to be the best way. And then when it's heard that there's non-duality, and there's talking about there's no me, the same things are coming to try to figure it out. What is no me? To try to hear very good to the message and trying to understand what is said there, trying to do things, or maybe they said, no, it's not about doing, so try not to do. There's always, when there's someone and it's very obvious there is someone, it's the me is the doing. So that's the only way the me can think. When there's a me, it's about what to do or what not to do. There can't be another option. When there's another option, it just gets stuck. And that's what's happening when this message is heard. Then there are a lot of questions, because there's a lot of asking how and why and what can I do, and that's it's also in this meeting there can be all those questions. It's not that they are wrong, that's not what I'm saying. It's just there are so many questions about that, about you want to know, about you want to figure it out, you want to get rid of something, or maybe it's like, oh no, it's clear it's not to get rid of something, but something like that. There can be so much frustration. And then there's somebody talking, but there is already no me. Nothing needs to happen. It's already complete, but it doesn't feel like that. And that's the paradox. It doesn't feel like it's complete. It doesn't feel like it's all right. It doesn't feel like it's everything. It's just, it feels like there's something missing. It feels like I have to find the way to get rid of that me, or everybody has that differently. So it's very strange to hear that there is already no one, that nothing is going on, about that there's someone doing things. It's just what's happening. There's only what is happening, and it's already like that. So there's no need to change anything. And also that sounds sometimes very crazy, because it feels like it can't be like that, because that is most of the time it's also heard like, oh, everything I can relax and I don't do anything anymore. It's kind of lazy message. Don't do anything anymore because everything is all right and it doesn't matter. But that's not what this message is saying. It is saying that what is happening is already what is. And it's maybe too simple to hear, because when there's someone, it seems like there is always trying to hear what's going on and to look at it and to feel or try to hear, to make an image of it. So it's nearly impossible just to hear that it's just the moving of the hand, that's it. It's so simple. It's just the very concrete moving of the hand, the sound. There's no meaning in the words at all. It doesn't matter if you understand what is said here. Life is not about understanding. It's just what it is. That's it. There's no reason for life. There's no reason why things happen like that. It's just happening. And it's not really happening. That's another awful message in this message. There's nothing happening. It's everything what's going on, it's an appearance. Nothing is real. It's just energy. And you could say with the light, it seems like events and bodies and tables. So nothing is real. It's only apparently real. So it's seen, of course, it's seen like there are tables, but it's just energy. Nothing is real. Nothing has any purpose or meaning. It's just what it is, a table, for no reason. And that simpleness, that without any reason, purpose, or way of doing, it's just that's the freedom. There can't be anything wrong. It's just that what's happening. It's just life. It's already life. Life is everything. There's nothing excluded. That's the joy. that it's everything. It's just everything. So the way the moving happens, or the nodding of the head, or drinking tea or coffee, there are differences, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's happening. They're just differences for no reason, without any meaning. It's just different. That's the uniqueness. There are a lot of different bodies and tables and everything. It's just different. That's the joy. And there can be questions about, you think, if it think it's my life, and I have a lot of questions about it. Please, there are no silly questions. Any questions can be there. It's just a question, and we'll see what happens. So please go.
Hello, I am speaking from Montreal. How are you? Can you hear me? Hello.
Oh, somebody's saying something. Oh.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Harold and I am from Montreal. How are you? I was at the I was at the French meeting the other week.
Oh.
It was pretty
Okay.
cool. I wanted to ask.
Yeah, you could understand the French. Okay.
Yeah, I speak French, English, and Spanish, so it's good.
Okay.
So when you will have your meeting in Spanish, I'll be there also.
In Spanish?
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I wanted to speak about the fact that it's pretty difficult to grasp this, because sometimes I have glimpses of it, and it's pretty clear and pretty easy. It's like it goes by itself, but sometimes it's like the opposite. And I was going to ask you about the point of view, because especially when I have physical pain or emotional pain, I say it's happened to nobody, but still know that the pain is there. So there's a point of view, and this point of view, is that the point of view? Because if you don't have a point of view, you won't. It's like sleeping. You don't know. But when there's a emotional pain, let's say, I know that emotion is there, that energy is there. So there's always a point of view. It's like impossible not to have a me completely.
Yeah, that's how it is. When there's no me, there's also no awareness. So it's not looking at yourself.
Exactly.
Or you. So and the funny thing is, there's just life happening. It's still there, but it seems so not possible that without that you can't live.
That is true.
You can. And it's also the most easy thing, because the me always wants something, does not want something. Because when I hear you, it's like when there's pain, it's still there. The pain is still there, of course. Pain is just what happens. But the funny thing is, it's crazy. There's pain, and maybe there's nothing going on about trying to get rid of that. And in the same time, it's not there. I can't explain why that. It's just like that. And that's the wonder also. But it can be very strong. There can be pain for I think for no reason, but it seems like it's because of that. We always think it's because of that or because of that. I don't see there's no reason for pain. It's just there. And it's the same with emotions. There can be emotions, it's just energy in a certain form. And that can be there. Sometimes it's not even known what kind of emotion it is. it doesn't matter if you know where it comes from or what it is. It doesn't. It's just there, and then
I understand. And the fact that when us as human beings, we are thinkers. We think, normally we look at things and we think about things. It's not like animals; they go by instinct, and the bird, if he wants to fly, he flies, and he doesn't know why, but he goes, and he feels threatened, he will go away. But we have things like things to pay, children to take care of. So it's pretty difficult for a human being not to have. I mean, I know there's not a me anyways, but still, it's difficult to let go. And I mean, it's like so difficult sometimes not to have this feeling of that you have some control of things,
But it's impossible. When there's someone, it's impossible because you can think anything, but when there's some threat or some pain, it's just trying to get rid of that. That's just part of the me and the doing and wanting to feel good or something like that. That's just what the survival system is about. The funny thing is, we are the same as animals. The only difference is that there's a brain, you could say in the story, there's a brain who can, with thoughts and can abstract things. But the crazy thing is that the abstract thoughts, like wanting to do something or thinking about what to do tomorrow or things like that, you think they have power to do it. I don't see that. They are just thoughts. It's just thoughts happening, and they can abstract what's going on. So you can, when there's something going on, it's so convincing that there's time. So there's something before, and there's something after, and then. But yet you did talk to little children. It's the same. This is like little children when they are very young. They can't hear abstract things, so they just don't hear it. They can't imagine, because the brain is not sophisticated enough just to make something else of it. And that's what the brain does, in some, what you could say. And that it's you look at it and you think, oh, that's because that belief is so strong and it's also embodied. It's because of that, but it's assuming, because you don't know, but you assume it's because of, you said that I feel that pain. I don't know, but it's so convincing that most people don't think of that. Maybe it's not. You don't know. You're not sure. It's just an assumption. But those assumptions and those beliefs and concepts are so embodied and seem so normal, like the truth. It's not even questioned. And in this message, it is. So there are a lot of beliefs and concepts, like consequences and before and after, for example. And then it's so normal. It's so normal that you think like that. And then suddenly someone's saying, oh, there's another possibility. And most people are saying, ah, you're crazy. I'm not listening to that. But some people are like, oh, hey, what's going on there? And that's what's happening in these meetings. Like, oh, because this is about loss of all those concepts, what seems to give a certain steady feeling or safety or something, but also it's like a prison. That's the longing for that vitality or aliveness, what little children have. It's just alive and just going. And then suddenly there's all those beliefs and concepts coming. And then they seem like that's how I have to behave. Otherwise, I don't know, something. But it's not like that. There are no consequences. There's no responsibility. Whoa, what's going on there? And it's not about not doing anything. It's not about laying back and say, oh, it's just happening like that, because that's a concept. That's not what I'm talking about. It's so, the world, there's no one. It's just empty. But it's so normal to be sure that there's someone inside who has control.
And it's also very sophisticated. The body is very sophisticated to make it appear like there's someone. It's like amazing, you know.
Yeah, that's what's going on. That's called the dream of me.
Exactly.
But most people, it's not a dream. It's just reality. It seems like reality, and that they just show pictures of that it's real. It's just pictures. It's very, and it's there's also about events, because it seems like you have to pay your bills or things like that. That's just a story, because we're so when you're in the there's so many things happening, and it seems like, oh, the story is real. No, it's not. It's just very simple what's happening, and maybe that's just writing something like paying, or but that's it. And maybe there's something else happening. You don't know. You don't know. I don't know. This is about not knowing.
And it's always new, like you say. It's always new.
But it's not only here always new, because I thought when somebody is, there's no me anymore in that Rose or in that person, then for her it's always new. No, it's not like that. It's just, it's always new it's not for everybody, it's not say it very good, but it's always new, because there's no before. There's no after, it's just new. It's just always new.
It's what it is, yeah.
Oh, this happened again. Oh, I'm coming in my house. Oh, the table is still there. No, it's not. It's just new. Well, that's so great. That's how children, they are just like in wonder. That's what the missing also is about, like the wonder, the aliveness of. And you can't say, oh, I'm wondering now. That's, yeah, it's nothing you can, it's not something you can do. But the awful thing is, it's just already there. It's just what's happening. And it's so, and in some way, when there's something like, no, it's not. I don't see it. I don't feel it. I don't understand. No. But that thought is it.
Wow. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, I'm going to finish after that. It's when you say there's no universe, there's no world, there's no nothing. It's like the only the screen that we see. That's the only thing that really is.
Yeah.
Not the things. Let's say.
Not really is. It's apparent. It's worse than that. It's an appearance also. Okay. Cool.
That's also an appearance. Yeah, but the thing is, what is changing in me is that perception that before all my life, I thought I was here, but there's out there's the street, and there's the sky, and there's the the universe, the moon, and I am there, but now it's like, no, there's only this, what it's here up, and it's an appearance also, it's like
that's completely different. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I want to thank you very much, because you're very nice, and your message, and I really resonate with you, and I appreciate what you do. Thank you very much, Rosa.
Oh, so sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
There are two people who raised hands.
Oh, I don't see that.
Diana and Gregory.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. That, but maybe I'm not seeing that. So because I have the whole screen. So if somebody wants to say something, just open your, and somebody else is stopped. Just open what you're doing now, and then just start. Christiane, just start. And then,
hello, Rosemary. Hello, I like very much the message.
Yeah.
Do you see me?
Yeah.
Do you understand me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My question is the same as the person who just asked you. It's similar, and I'm so it's difficult for the eye, my character, my personality, to understand there's no consequences, because I attribute power to doctors. So when the doctors take an image of my knee and said that my pain is because of its arthrosis, and when every time I walk a lot, there's pain, it seems so consequential. It seems so because it's every time there's pain because I'm walking too much. It seems like this night, my cat, I sneezed because I think I'm allergic, because I was already allergic to cat. So it's, and if I take a similar example, if I have a glass and I drop it, it feels so convincing that the glass will break. So perhaps one day the glass won't break. I don't know. Like gravity.
Nature, there's how do you call it? Nature, laws of nature, like that.
Okay.
Some things like that. But this is about also what I'm saying about consequences. It's about also about the abstract thoughts that you think, I have done this, that's because of that. So when I drop a glass, it's falling on the floor. Yeah, okay, that's just nature. Yeah, some laws are in that. So that's like, and you call that consequences. Okay, then that's. I don't think it's consequence, but it's just a nature law or something like that. But when there's you feel like there's some doctor and they're saying you have arthrose and there's walking. It's very difficult to understand, because it's so normal to think like that. It's very tiny what I'm talking about. So there can be pain, and it doesn't matter if we think we have to take care of our body, so we have to do the right thing to make it better, or to rest, or to, I don't know. But it's just happening. So it's apparently happening, but it's just like that. And we think I am doing that. So I have to take care that I have pain. Oh, now I did walk too long. It's not like that. It's just there's pain, and there's no guilt, or there's nothing because of I did that or did that. And that's what we are so used to do, to like judge ourselves or look at ourselves, and because we don't know. You don't know. It's just like that. There's pain, and there's really, we assume that it's because of that, and a lot of people do it, so it seems like that's the truth. We don't know. There's just pain, and maybe there's going to the doctor, and maybe there's going to a surgery or anything. Everything can happen, of course. It's not like, oh, I have pain and that's okay. No, of course, I don't know, there can be going to the doctor or taking pills. But that's so strange, because then you think you take pills because you have pain. But there's nothing going on about that. There's just walking, there's just taking pills. And it seems, and in the story, it always seems like you did that because of that. That's so normal thinking. But that's just assuming. So the freeing is that there's also no guilt. It doesn't mean, maybe they're thinking, oh, I don't have, maybe today I'm not walking so much because I've pain, and there's just a lot of walking. I don't know why, that's just what's going on. And then you think, oh, I had to do it. That's that dream, what's going on all the time. And that's the suffering. And there can be pain. It's not like, this is not that when there's no me, then there's taking care of the body perfectly. No, I don't know. Maybe there's happening something else. You don't know. It has nothing to do with being healthy or so.
Yeah, I feel it. Yes, I resonate very much. Thank you. Yes, I see the difference. Yeah. Because sometimes, like yesterday, I had pain. I went to a museum.
Yeah.
A museum, and it doesn't bother me. I didn't know where it was.
God, yeah. Yeah, can be like that.
You.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So now the other hand, I don't know which it was.
That's gone already.
Oh, it's already gone. Oh, so many people. Wow. God. Wow. So please, if you want to say something, unmute yourself. We are not that many people. I think it's all right. It's going all right.
Hello, Rose.
Hi, William.
How are you?
I'm good. Are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay.
What I wanted to ask, I came across an interview that you did with Emerson on YouTube, and that's how I found out about you. And what I wanted to ask you is, did you notice any obvious changes when the sense of self was no longer there?
No. The funny thing is, there's no, you can call it awareness. I don't like that word because that's a bit abstract. But then there's no noticing I can't remember so much how it was before. So no. And it's just, but there will always be a difference. So there will be differences, and then it's not because of there's no me. The only thing I can say, maybe it's more relaxed. There's something more relaxed. But for the rest, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm expecting some big change if there's no longer a sense of me, but really, because I've been listening to this message for a little while now with other speakers. Yeah. And I think the more I'm listening to it is the more I'm kind of thinking to myself, maybe that huge change I'm expecting probably won't happen.
Yeah. Because there's nothing wrong. And we always think there's something not right yet. That's the misunderstanding. But that's so embodied, and that's so normal, and there are some troubles with that, like some problems or a lot of thoughts or whatever, you get frustration. But the frustration can also be, it's just that feeling. It's so simple. It's just already what's going on. So when there's just sitting, a lot of thoughts, then that's life thoughting, you could say. We think it has meaning, and when there's feeling, then that's what's happening. So in that sense, there's nothing changing. So there's me, you could then, and that's what happened to me, or not to me, but when there was no me anymore, it's not, there was no me anymore. The funny thing was, oh, it was already like that. Oh my God, how could I not see that? Oh, so obvious. It's just, oh, like that. It's just like that. So, and when you say to other people, it's like they can't hear it. So you can't tell because you can't describe how it is, because it's already what's happening. And when you say, I did say it once, and then somebody said, yeah, thank you very much. It's already what's happening. Yeah, I knew that, but that doesn't change anything. Thank you very much. No, of course not, because it's already what is. And that's the longing also. The longing is that I'm all right in a sense. You could say there's a longing that you are completely all right, and there's nothing wrong from you. There are a lot of books about that. It's already there. It's not, nothing is wrong. It can be painful or silly or anything. And we are thinking it has to be in a certain way, because that's what's so strong, what's so embodied. There has to be a kind of perfect way, or always freedom, or maybe happiness, or one that always be togetherness, or something like that. I'm into togetherness, something like that. No, it's not a feeling. It's not something, but you can't describe it because it's always different. It's always new. It's always sitting, but that's the same. There's no difference. There is no difference. That's crazy. And that maybe you could say the only different, no, it's not really different, but when there's nothing going on there, it's just not coming. I don't know, like that. There's nothing going on like picking things up. But then you think, oh, I still have that. So maybe I wait till that will change. But in the same time, that's the paradox. That when there's something grabbing it and trying to make something happen or believe there's control, that's also what's happening. So it's always talking in paradoxes. Or it is there, the me is there, or it isn't. There's nothing in between. You can't explain it. So this is not about understanding. It doesn't matter if you understand it. It doesn't need to, life doesn't need to understanding. It just is. Sitting, looking like that. That's it. That's already what is. Nothing else. It's too simple in a way. Because it's very tiny. Yeah.
It's absolutely too simple.
Yeah.
For the me, because I like what you were saying about there's no one there picking things up, and like the me's constantly taking hold of everything that's happening and putting it into different boxes. And what you said about it's more like there's a relaxation. I think a lot of the tension comes from trying to pick everything up and look at it. Do I want this? Do I not want this? Yeah, and so I think what you're saying is that when there's no longer the sense of self, everything's just allowed to be.
It's not allowed. There's nothing going on about it. So it's just there. There's nothing going on about, do I want it or do I not want it, or noticing or anything. It's just there, like that, like it is. And it can be pain or sadness or being very like that. Anything. The same as you, or not the same, we are different, but in the same sense, in a sense the same. But there's not something going on like, oh, is this it? Or what do I want? Or that. But that's also, it's not, that's life. That's also life happening. But for me, it's like, yeah, that can be life happening, but that I don't want that. Something like that. So, but of course it can't be wrong. It can't be not that it's like when there's grabbing and trying to do, that's just what's happening. It's not really grabbing, because then we are, with the abstract mind, you can describe what's going on. But it's much more simple. It's just thoughts maybe happening. That's it. It's much more simple. We are so the mind can be so complicated. But if that's the case, that's not wrong. It's just going on like, oh, trying to figure things out. That's how life can be. For no reason. Well, just like that. It's nothing is wrong. There can be a lot of figuring out and trying to understand and all what. It's a dream, but so what? Doesn't matter. But when you very strong believed in and it's my life and then you can't say it doesn't matter. That doesn't feel like that.
It's lovely to hear this sharing, because I can honestly feel or sense the freedom that you're what you're describing. It sounds like a real freedom, and I can sense that.
Okay, yeah. And it's already there. So there can be a lot of thoughts and things around, but that's just the dream. And it doesn't matter. It's just already happening, apparently. Yeah, great.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, the chat.
Oh, the me and meaning seem to support one another. Yeah. Yeah, when there's a me, there seems to be meaning. Because then when there's a me, there's some missing. So everything becomes important and has meaning. There's looking at it, and everything seems, when everything is real, everything is, there's a looking for, something, for a better life or being happy. So everything seems to have meaning, because then maybe when I do that, that would be very important to do. And then, so meaning is also very important then. Saying there's no meaning, that's, for me, that's awful, because everything seems to have meaning, because that's the way maybe I can find it. There's nothing to find. God. So this is about loss. It's loss, about loss of all those concepts and beliefs and assuming what's going on and what's needed. God, it can be very terrifying. And it can be a relief. It can both. Yeah. This is also just a message, like offering another possibility. And it doesn't matter if there's a believer believing in it or not wanting it, or doesn't matter. It's just describing what is seen.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's about the expectations. It's like sometimes when I have the energy of the me that is there, I feel it. And I try not to have it. I say there's nobody there. So I walk and I look at, it's okay. But there's some things, that can trigger some kind of expectations, like I don't know, if I meet a girl and I knew a woman that maybe we can have romance, and you start a relationship and you feel very good with it and it's great. And it's like I see around my world, there's this, I see around the expectation, like what if this, or what if that. It's like I don't want to see that. There's nobody here, So it's like it's so difficult. It's like they're automatically, they appear to be there. Just I don't know if you can comment on that, expectations.
Yeah, when there's a me, there are always expectations and dreams about what's going to be happening and wanting to be that. And me can't, when there's someone and it's very embodied, that belief or concept, that is so strong, and then there's a feeling of, oh, I need something to feel good, something like that. It's just embodied. It's not even in the mind, but that's just going like that.
That's what I mean. It's like it's there,
Yeah, but that's not wrong. That's just that's when they're thinking about that, because you think your way out of this. There's no need to do that. When there are expectations, then there are expectations. So what? Doesn't matter. I can say that it doesn't matter, because for me it's feel like, oh, I don't want to have that because that hurts, because then there's something happening and it's not what I did want. So it's when there's someone and there's wanting this, I want to have that like that, or want to have it like that, or want you to behave like that, or whatever that it can be. It's just what's going on. So it's energy. It's not your way of doing it. It's just that energy that with a lot of thoughts and maybe feelings coming. That's just what's going on. And it's not about you, because there is no one. But you can't say to yourself, oh, I'm not there. That's me saying I'm not there. So that's, you can't say.
It's like a pointer. It's more like a pointer,
Yeah, but there's no need for a pointer. Because you think the way I do it is not so good. It's better to say to myself, there is no one. No, it's not. It's like when the way it's going, that's it.
Okay.
And the me doesn't want to hear that, because the me wants to feel good in basically. So it's always about feeling good in one way or another. And this is talking not about feeling good or having a good life. This is talking, it's everything. So all those thoughts coming or saying, I want that, why not? It's just like that. So that's that person doing that. God, unconditional love, doing that. Or how do you say life in that way? It's already complete. So there's nothing wrong with it. There's no need to say, oh, there's no me, or that. Why? It's complete already. It's just life in that form. But in some way, the me has always a dream like, yeah, but when I do that, maybe that works better. That, ooh, and that when there's that dream, then there's the dream. But it's not about feeling good. This message has nothing to do with feeling good, or giving help or something. There's no need for help, because there's nothing wrong. But do you want to hear that? Because, ooh, I want this, I want that. That's most of the time.
But sometimes as you say, it's like very energetic. It's like the thing is, for my part, like I don't have the experience that you have. So my experience is like sometimes I'm really into the metrics, into the story. It's like it goes by itself to that, and I say there, but it's going, it's becoming more and more present, the way that things are going on, and there's no meaning. It's just there. It's what it is. It's this feeling is, it's like growing all the time, but there's still sometimes when I feel the energy that I am there with my story and my preoccupations and all my worries, my,
Yeah, but that's an interpretation. When there's I'm feeling I'm there, what do you feel? Well, maybe there's some stress or some energy, maybe you feel it in your, somewhere in the body, there's something going on, or contraction. Then there's only contraction. That's what's happening. That's not the me. There is no me.
But the me give meaning. The me gives meaning all the time.
Yeah, but it's not the me gives meaning. That's an abstract story. There's just that going on, and then there's thoughts about what's going on. It's just everything is just a part. It's just, there's no this because
continuity.
of that. No.
Okay, got it.
And there's
so
also
great.
no me, because you're talking about, this, then there me does this. There is no me. That's just, we assume, I know that, I have that. When there was a contraction in the body, I thought, oh, the me is back. That's just what's happening.
That's great. Thank you so much. You're so nice. Thank you.
Okay.
It's very simple.
Yeah, it's really simple. Yeah. Too simple.
Yeah, too simple. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to be smart or intelligent.
Hello again, Rose.
Hi.
So it's impossible to say how much longer the contraction of me will continue before it apparently no longer reappears.
There is no contraction of me. There's just contraction. It can be there. Just a contraction in the body or something else, pain or... nothing. It's not the me. That's not the me. It's just contraction. That's just the muscles, or I don't know. No, maybe not. Something else. I don't know. Doesn't matter. A feeling, a sensation. There's
So,
already no, it is already not there. So it can't go away.
so why do we think, or I think I want something to go away if there isn't the me there already?
Yeah. That's the dream, that there needs to be change something, because you think there's something not complete or something that it maybe there's not the thinking, but there's something going on. That's that. Yeah, how do you say? Me is not a thing. That's just that concept of not being good enough, or something is wrong or missing, and that's so embodied somewhere. But it's a misunderstanding, but it's so strong and so embodied. So it's like, oh, that's because of, and then now you say like, oh, the me is in the head or in the somewhere. We make something of it, because that's what the me, what we do to give it a place and a reason, and trying to get rid of that, or trying to solve, or trying to anything. There's so many ways of doing. So you see it in therapy or non-dualism also. A lot of ways, different ways of doing or changing or being aware, or it's always like when that's going on, it's an confirmation that there's someone who can do something. That's what the me wants to hear in some way, the most people, because then there seems to be hope for someday it will happen. It will never happen because it's already there. But it's not a feeling or not a knowing. It's everything. It hides by being everything.
So there's no me here already, is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So nothing's going to go away.
No. No.
Okay.
It's awful because it leaves all hope. There's no hope. Oh my God, no hope. Oh God. Yeah. It's just empty. It's just that body, and that's moving in a way, and it's just going by itself. It's just life. It seems to be a body. There's also no inside. That's also something that most people don't want to hear. There's no inside. It's just that what's seen, that body. There's no person. There can be characteristics, but that's also a story. We talk sometimes. We talk in the story, because otherwise you can't tell anything. But there's no story. There's no characteristics. It's just that body moving for no reason. No William. Oh my God, no William. What you saying? No.
Okay, thank you.
There seems to be characteristics that Rose can be like, ooh, like that, but or not.
But the characteristics have nothing to do with the sense of feeling like a person.
No, that's just DNA, and I don't. It's just characteristics is also something of the story, but there's the looks, and there's characteristics, and some body minds, some people are more quiet, and then it's more fiery or things like that. But when we talk about that, then people are going like, I'm someone who's very fiery. Yeah, that's already too much. That's already a story. So yeah, there are characteristics, but they don't have any meaning, or it's not needed to say something about that Rose characteristic. Some people recognize like, oh, in all those videos, she's a bit like that. Maybe, I don't know. But that's it's not important.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. The funny thing is that this in the story could say then this Rose was educated like that of how do you say, in my youth, there was like it's very good to behave and being quiet and being like that, and this was I was a child. This was a child like like fiery and play, and that. So that there came a lot of contraction in the body. That's just a story too, and when there's no noticing about this is better to do than that, then just that whole contraction can relax, and then their characteristics, they come out. So then Rose is more, it's a bit, yeah, it's a story, but then Rose is not that withdrawn anymore, but it's like more like, oh, that fiery is coming back. But it's also a story, because that's always different. When there's this happening to Rose in this way, it's always different. So you can't say something about yourself or some other people, what's going to happen. You don't know. Just a bit explaining how characteristics how that works, I think, for me. But it's just a story, not important.
So even though what you're saying is there's no rule of what will happen, it can be that contraction brings about a sort of suppressing of the natural characteristic of the body.
Yeah, it's an energetic thing, so you don't know how that's working. It's just everything is so embodied, like all experience. When you talk about the story, it's all experiences and all behavior, and it's just embodied in a certain way. And when that's relaxing, you don't know what's happening. Maybe I'm dying, can also happen when that's relaxing. People can die of relaxation. Everything can happen. You don't know. So it's not always good. You don't know.
The thing is, when I asked you earlier on, like, what was there anything that changed when the sense of self wasn't there? I guess that's because I want to know what it would be like if I wasn't there. How would this body, mind, organism function? Would it be beneficial to this body, mind, organism? But that still assumes that there's someone here who's going to benefit or not. And I need to know, am I going to benefit, or will things get worse?
Yeah, sure. That's the question. Yeah, sure. Of course. Yeah.
And you're just saying that it's completely unknowable.
It's completely unknown. It can be, there can be relaxation, but there's also in this body a lot of pain. I don't know why, but it's just can be like that. Also, it's not like when there's no me, there's no pain. It's even more pain. Maybe, maybe for this body, that doesn't. Not the whole day, but no, that's just it's too much. But that's not to say that there's you don't know what's going on, and that can be like anything. When there's just suddenly I know some people, then there was such a relaxation, they had to have a diet because the whole body couldn't take it. So anything can happen. You don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's going. There's nothing going on. So there can be pain, or going to the shop, or not able to walk. I don't know. Anything. It's not a better life in that sense.
But you're saying
there's nothing going on about what's happening. That's the, maybe you can say that's the difference.
None of it matters. That's the difficult thing for me to hear.
Yeah.
I think everything matters so much. And
yeah. Because you want that it feels good. Yeah. That
Excuse me. But in your case, when there's pain, there's still a preference going on for no pain?
No.
Not even?
Sounds great. No, not really.
Wow.
There's nothing going on about that.
That's amazing.
That's
pain,
so
amazing.
That's pain, and there's also no pain. You can't describe it, but it's not even awful or so. No.
Wow. Because there's when we say the word pain, already we think of something that is negative, you know?
Yeah, sure. But a lot of the negative is also not wanting it. That makes it sharp also.
Exactly. But in your case, there's pain, there's only pain. And there's
It's
no
case,
no judgment.
There is no the different thing is there is no Rose. There's just pain. And there's not a Rose has no me and she has that. No, it's not like it's worse.
But who knows about the pain?
No, it's not knowing. It's just a sensation somewhere. It doesn't need knowing.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you say because of there is no woes, there is more happiness?
No, it's not happiness. It's just, I can't say how it is. It's always different. There's something, how can I say it? It's not happiness, that's something else. There can be joy, like very much joy or things like that. But that's just, but there's maybe you could say underneath everything there's joy, could say. But in the same time there can be pain also, or sadness. I can't describe it. It's difficult to give it words. Because then happiness is just a feeling, or freedom is most of the time also a feeling. This is not a feeling. It's just, I can't say.
Thank you.
The funny thing is life is joy. You see it very little children. It's just joy. It's just aliveness. And the joy, it's not joy that it's all happy all the time, but it's just alive. And in that sense, joy. And then that can be screaming in the same aliveness. And then there's smiling in the same aliveness. And there's cuddling. And that's also aliveness. It's in everything. It's in everything. And nothing is serious. That's amazing. That's the joy too. Nothing is serious. God. And it doesn't mean that somebody tells something really awful or something, and then I'm laughing now. Then there's just listening, can be listening or something like that. That doesn't mean that's always like, oh, but nothing is serious. Can't be taken serious. But it's not a way of living, because that's what the me does. That, oh, nothing is serious. So you can say to yourself, oh, but when there's something happening, but it's not serious. That's a concept, saying to yourself to make it easy, more easy or something. It is just, yeah, it's just there. It's so obvious. That's something else.
There's a chat.
The me and me is an absence of expectation the equalizer. What's an equalizer? I don't know what equalizer is.
I will look for you.
Absence of expectation. That it makes everything more neutral, you mean? Is that what you mean? No, she will look at it. I come back to it. Can the freedom of not knowing have a flavor of love? Can the freedom of not knowing have a flavor of love for what is? Whatever happening without meaning. Can the freedom of not knowing have a flavor of love for what is? Oh, for me, it's a bit difficult to hear. It's just freedom, and there's everything is unconditional love. It's just everything. So it's not it's not the freedom of not knowing. It's the freedom of not knowing. The not knowing is just not knowing. And the freedom is that there's nothing needed to know. And that everything is just unconditional love. It's just everything, but it's unconditional. So everything happens without meaning. Yeah, of course, because it's just human. They put it up to it. It's just like happening like that, and then humans make something of it, the meaning of it. You can think that, but that doesn't matter, but it's just an assumed meaning. It's not real. It makes it more complicated, but then it's more complicated. So what? Yeah, gelijkmaker. So an absence of expectation, when there's no one, there's no expectation. Because it's just it doesn't I don't care what's happening. And of course you can say, oh, it's better to have more money or more friends or more. I don't even know if that's the case. I don't know. There's nothing going on about that. It's just not coming. It's just not arising. It's just like that. So when there's a me, there's all the time there's something going on. What do you want? Or what do I want? Or what do I feel? And how can I do it better? Or things like that. And then suddenly that's not there. It's just that whole, all those things going on, it's just not there. And then, yeah, it's just like that. And then it's very easy. And the funny thing is, you forget that it was there. So it's not really a better life. No, it's just normal, simple, not so much going on about, nothing going on about how do I want it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's going on. But I don't say, oh, it doesn't matter. That's in these meetings then that is said about what's going on, but normal that there's nothing going on about what's happening. It's just happening, anything. And there can be some thoughts about things also. What's going on here? Or sometimes when there's I've watched a lot of television, and then in the night I wake up and then there are a lot of thoughts about that movie and about that's just going on like hell, like, oh, what's going on here? And then suddenly it stops and I fall asleep again. It's like, can be like that. Anything can happen. And there can be a preference also, of course. But you don't know what's going on, but that preference, yeah, can be a preference. So what?
There's a chat with a translation from
Yeah.
Equalizer.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw it? Okay.
Yeah, thank you. To me, it's the top of the survival system, you could say, the boss. There's somewhere some feeling, some inside the body, some embodied feeling like there's something not good enough, or I'm not good enough, or there's something missing, or it's not complete, or I'm not free, or I'm not happy, things like that. And then there seems to be a me that maybe the brain is making that's something like, oh, I can do that. There seems to be free will. So we learn there's free will. There's a me inside. And that gives a feeling of control and gives a feeling of I can make my life work. Because when there's separation, there's a huge feeling of loss and that's maybe embodied and maybe it's not so much recognized after so many years in the story. But then there's a looking for something you missed. There was one, but you can't remember. I always thought there's a secret. There was something, there's a remembering, but I don't know, I can't remember what it was. There's a secret, there's something, and what is it? I can't remember. And there's a longing, but you fill it in. There's something like, oh, it has to be, because you hear that also in Buddhism and all those religions, like it's just what everything is just one. So you think, oh, I have to be one. I have to be at one. How do I feel at one? So you try. I did that. Trying to feel how it's one. Trying to do something with the body to relax. It's always about trying to make it happen, and the me is is the doer. It seems like, oh, it's the helper to make it happen. And thoughts are the tools. It seems the tools to make it happen. And you adjust power to the thoughts, because that seems to be, when there are thoughts, it seems to help you to make happen, to find what you're looking for, or to make, when there's stress in the body, then there are thoughts about what's going on. So they seem to help to find out what's wrong, because when there's a feeling of stress or tension, then it's immediately called like there's wrong. So it has to change. And how can I do that? And how can I take care of my body so it doesn't happen again? And a lot of thoughts are about that. So it seems like thoughts are so seen as the tools to make your life work. And the funny thing is, when it's just not coming anymore, and it's just seen like it is, it's seen also that thoughts are just thoughts. It's just energy. Like, you can't even say what it is. It's just energy in a certain way, without any meaning, without any power. And they don't need, it's not needed. It's just thoughts. That's what humans have or do. And what's happening, it's just going. It's just happening by itself. And there's a whole dream, a part of that, which thinks that, oh, I'm someone and I'm doing that and I'm living my life and I'm doing what is done. That's by me, so I'm important, so I'm doing it in that way, and I want to show to other people that this is the best way. So there are a lot of people showing how you can do it, so you have more money or happiness or anything. That's what most people very much like, because then the doer is confirmed that you can do it. You can do it. And when this message is here, that it's saying there's no one, most people won't hear that, don't want to hear this, because that's taking away that tool, that hope that there's something going to happen, that someday you will find it. But in the same time, it's giving hope. It's also confirming that it's not good enough. And there's something missing, and this is not it. And this is saying it is already there. This is everything. It's just what it is. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing right. It's just what it is. And when there's moving the body, there's moving the body. That's just life doing that. It's not someone inside doing that. There is no one. It's just empty. It's just moving, bodies moving, talking. It's the same as like as animals are just doing and moving and things. And on top of it, the humans have a feeling or an idea that they are doing it, and there's something inside. And it's clear, oh, there's not. It's just empty. It's just the same. It's just, it always was like that. It's just going by itself. And there's nothing wrong, there's nothing right. I didn't do anything. It's just happening. And it's an apparent happening. Nothing is real. It seems so real and solid, but it's just sensations, and it's very tiny sensations or feelings or emotions. It's just happening for no one. So there's no goal, there's no purpose, there's no need for anything, because it's already this. The moving of the hand, the sitting, is it. Closing the computer, is it. That's everything. That's already everything. It's not a great explosion of love. This is already love. That the way that looking is there, it's already love. That body is already unconditional love. It's already there. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is right. It's just what it is. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for joining.